Hey guys, this is my review of the latest episode of Feel Good. So this is going to be episode 4 of the Channel 4 comedy series. So the first season, all episodes, all 6 can be found online, of course, on the All 4 streaming service. So the catch-up service for Channel 4. So yeah, I've really been digging this show. I think it's been one of those like little gems of the year so far, and this episode keeps that going. It's very enjoyable. I think really this episode does a great job of like summing up why this has been such a good series, because I think the absurdity of it at times and the length it goes to is just so perfect, because it really captures what makes the show painfully funny, but also has a like just a really scary like true ring to life in it. And of course, this episode was always going to be great because Lisa Kudrow as Linda, as May's mother, Linda, kind of takes centre stage. This is the most screen time she's got because her and her husband are over in England. They're in Blackpool of all places. And what sets this all off is that they contact May, say they're in England, they're in Blackpool, and they've basically gone to Blackpool to spread the ashes of the cat, the late cat, of course, that being May's cat. So it's in Blackpool. They've decided to do it on Blackpool Beach because why not? I think the cat was called Arthur or Archie or something like that. I can't quite remember. But so May decides to go to Blackpool because she's like kind of mad and they didn't tell her about the cat passing away, and she wants to be there. And also she takes the chance to kind of confront the situation with her parents, particularly her mother. And she decides, because at the beginning she's like in one of her meetings, and it's the night after her and George have like hooked up in the hospital, and George has come out to like her friends. But May's gone to like her regular meeting without telling George that she was going. But at the meeting, the guy who runs it says, you know, it may be time for us to do step 12. And apparently step 12 is to confront people you love and apologise for being an addict, apparently. So May decides it's time to do this, so she hotfoots it to Blackpool, and George comes with her. And I think this is a massive episode for George, as much as anything, just because part of the pain of the episode for George is then she hears about May's like past loves, and certainly the way Linda puts it anyway is that May just dumped these other women and was very kind of casual about it. But obviously George is in this weird kind of place where this is the first time she's been with a woman, so she hasn't really had this experience. This is like the first time. So it's kind of interesting then. It's actually George who at this stage of the relationship is the most freaked out and scared about the future, because she's in unknown territory and she starts hearing all these things about May and her past relationships with women. So she starts to question what's the future. She asks May at one point, what makes me any different from those other relationships? So it's almost reversed the roles in a way, like the power, because I think certainly early on May was the one who lacked confidence and was kind of, you know, she was really bowled over by George, but at the same time she was just scared to maybe commit fully. It's kind of come full circle. I think it's May who's very much more comfortable and confident with the relationship at this stage. But obviously George is the one kind of freaking out with this new information, and she's meeting May's parents for the first time, which is kind of a big deal. But May does reassure her. She gives her, this speech about, because I've never felt this way with anyone before. You really give me confidence every time I'm with you. Like, the room lights up and that kind of stuff. And they have a really like nice intimate dance at the end of the episode after May's parents have like got on the train. But yeah, and I think that chemistry is just there once again. I think every scene you have with May and George, you can really see how well it's played between the actors, and it's just another nice little subtle moment that's worked into quite an absurdist sort of like comedy drama. But yeah, I think just Lisa Kudrow again in many ways steals the episodes. And I think it's a great sort of term, because she is kind of doing that Phoebe sort of thing where she's like naive to the world and just saying all the wrong sort of thing, except there's a bit more spike to it. There's a bit more of like an edge in this case. But it's credit to Lisa Kudrow, because she makes it funny, painfully funny in any case. And I think there's a telling thing where at the end of the episode, because when May tries step 12 on them, it just doesn't go down very well with Lisa Kudrow, with Linda particularly. The husband is obviously more sympathetic. We've said this in previous episodes, but yeah, it doesn't go down very well with Linda. She's kind of just brings up the past and just kind of paints like May's part in it in a very bad light, and is kind of saying things like, just saying that then it's very difficult to really take May seriously because of the things she's done in the past. And George is very supportive, but she kind of sticks up for the parents in a way, and she actually connects a bit with the father, because I think at one point they bond because they're kind of in the same boat. It's kind of May and Linda who are like the aggressive, full steam ahead characters in this episode, and it's George and the father who are kind of like, they're just left at the side of the road almost. But there's this great thing where May kind of eventually gets through to Linda, and she does it just like by sitting her down and just start talking about black holes randomly. And it's just this idea of this character Linda, who's just kind of off the wall and beats her own drum. So it's almost like the human honesty stuff from May just isn't going to get through to her. You need to go for something a little bit more wacky and silly. So she starts talking to her about like new research on black holes or something, and it kind of wins around slowly. But and yeah, just stuff to do with future technology. And Linda like oddly starts perking up, so they leave it in a good place. But I do like that idea. Then it's like this alternative way of talking to her mother, which actually gets her on board. But yeah, as I said, there's a lot of painfully funny moments. There's obviously when they spread the ashes on the beach and they're singing Jerusalem, and I love Linda saying, "Well, we need a 10-minute silence for the cat," and so they do it for like a few seconds, and then May interjects because she obviously thinks 10 minutes is going a bit overboard. And then there's an awkward like moment where she, out of frustration, she kind of like dumps the cat's ashes, but instead of them like sort of flying in the air. They actually just flop on the beach, which is quite funny. And the ghost train, I have to talk about the ghost train scene because it might be my favourite scene of the whole show so far, where again they sort of pair up. And I think again this is to do with May using a different tack to get through to her parents. So they pair up on the ghost train. So you have George and the dad, who are kind of just sitting there quite quietly enjoying the ride. But then you have Linda and May, who are going through all this stuff, and every now and again it's like intercut with like something like popping out at them. And May's getting really mad at some point, saying, go away, you freak. But yeah, it's a great way to do like this comedy of embarrassment, just to have them on this like goofy sort of ghost train ride, and them arguing, and then every now and again ghouls like popping out. It's just again perfect kind of absurd sort of situation comedy. So yeah, really great stuff, and I think it was great to have Lisa Kudrow in this episode as much as she had. I really like the parents, actually. I think the guy who's playing the father, who I've seen in other stuff as well, but I can't quite think of his name, but he's really good as well. And I think the fact that he's the opposite to Linda really makes their dynamic work. But they have good chemistry, and I think you do believe them as a couple. So there you have it. That's the latest Feel Good. Really good stuff again. And if you're new to the series, if you haven't seen it, as I said, all 6 episodes are up now on All 4, the Channel 4 catch-up service. I highly recommend it. So if you've been watching any of the show so far, then let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Keep the content coming. You can ring the bell on YouTube if you want notifications of any new videos. Also, if you want to contact me for any questions or any requests for things I could review in the future, then contact me on Twitter. But I hope you guys are doing well in this crazy time, and I'll be back soon with more TV and more film reviews. So see you later. Goodbye.